morning, everyone. I'm Kate Rogers, Executive Director of the Alamo Trust, and it's my honor to stand before you on this historic day as we celebrate the official re-grand opening of Plaza de Valero. Before we begin, please rise for the playing of our national anthem and the presentation of the colors by the Texas Department of Public Safety Honor Guard, followed by the U.S. and Texas pledges led by 7th grade National Junior Honor Society students and their teacher, Mrs. Jessica Little from Stinson Middle School.
Honor guard, all officers, present. Halt.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Halt. Halt.
All right, how about a round of applause for the Texas Department of Public Safety Honor Guard and our students from Stinson Middle School. Unfortunately, one of the most passionate defenders of the Alamo, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, was called away this morning and could not be with us. But we are privileged to have many distinguished guests here this morning. First, I'd like to recognize a steadfast champion of the Alamo, Texas General Land Office Commissioner, Dr. Dawn Buckingham. Her leadership ensures the continued preservation of this sacred site for generations to come. We're also honored to have with us Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai. He has been instrumental in supporting the future Visitor Center and Museum, which will open in 2027. In addition, the ongoing Alamo plan would not be where it is today without the unwavering support of our generous donors. We're honored to have with us board members of the Greehey Family Foundation, including John, Sid, Leslie, and Cheryl Greehey up in the front. Debbie Marino and Charlie Amato from SWBC. Walt Hufford and several executives from Repsol. Anna made it all the way from Madrid to be here this morning, so welcome to you. Sam Dawson from Pape Dawson is here. They're not only a proud contributor, but also an important consultant on the project. Richard Delgado from Boeing San Antonio. Boeing just made our first STEAM education kits for teachers available here at the Alamo. Ricky Maldonado from Texas Capital Bank. I saw Susan Naylor just joined us. There she is, one of our not only a contributor, but also a proud member of the Remember the Alamo Foundation Board. And Jackie Mochimbika from the Ewing Hossel Foundation. I didn't see Jackie. All right, let's give them all a huge round of applause. Their contributions are helping us to preserve and enhance the Alamo for future generations, and thanks to them, we've raised almost $85 million toward our $150 million fundraising goal. I'd also like to recognize the following special guests. We have Alamo Trust Board Chair, Welcome Wilson Jr., and his wife, Anita, is also here this morning. Board member of the Alamo Trust, Sherry Sylvester. Mark Johnson, who is chair of the Remember the Alamo Foundation Board. Phil Backey, who is chair of our Capital Campaign and doing a tremendous job. And we also have Tio and Janelle Clayberg. Tio is also one of our fantastic board members and has been on the statewide committee for the campaign that we are launching this morning. Also want to say a special thank you to Jane Macon, who's also part of that committee, and the person who brought our four-legged friends who are in the back for today's event. And you may be wondering why they're here. Hopefully we'll explain that in just a moment. We also have several members of the Daughters of the Republic of Texas with us this morning. Ladies, please stand so we can recognize you. And of course, some proud members of the Sons of the Republic of Texas. There we go. And the Battle of Flowers Parade Association is also represented here this morning. There they are. Thank you, ladies, for being here. Today marks the 189th anniversary of one of the most powerful calls to action in our country's history. Lieutenant Colonel William Barret Travis's famous Victory or Death letter. Written inside what was the Trevino House at the time is now the location for the future Alamo Visitor Center and Museum. This letter was more than just words on a piece of paper. It was a call for reinforcements and a symbol of the courage that defines the Alamo's deep and enduring legacy. To begin today's program, we will have our annual reading of this legendary letter. This year, we're honored to have the Alamo's own senior researcher and historian, Colby Lanham, who will read Travis's words, which still echo through the halls of history.
Commandancy of the Alamo, Bihar, February 24th, 1836. To the people of Texas and all Americans in the world, fellow citizens and compatriots, I am besieged by 1,000 or more of the Mexicans under Santa Anna. I have sustained a continual bombardment in Canada for 24 hours and have not lost a man. The enemy has demanded a surrender at discretion, otherwise the garrison would be put to the sword if the fort is taken. I've answered the demand with a cannon shot, and our flag still waves proudly from the walls. I shall never surrender or retreat. Then I call on you in the name of liberty, of patriotism, and everything dear to the American character to come to our aid with all dispatch. The enemy is receiving reinforcements daily and will no doubt increase to 3,000 or 4,000 in 4 or 5 days. If this call is neglected, I determined to sustain myself as long as possible and die like a soldier who never forgets what is due his own honor and that of his country. Victory or death. William Barret Travis.
Thank you, Colby. Ladies and gentlemen, that letter was more than a message. It was a rallying cry, a plea for reinforcements that never came, and a declaration of the unwavering courage from the 189 defenders of the Alamo. And now, today, we answer a different call. Not for battle, but for the protection and preservation of this sacred site. Thank you. Today is significant not only because we commemorate the 189th anniversary of the Battle of 1836, but also because we celebrate the grand opening of Plaza de Valero. Surrounded by historic landmarks like the famous Menger Hotel, Plaza de Valero further enhances the visitor experience, ensuring that the Alamo remains not only a site of remembrance, but also a place where history, culture, and community come together. In this beautifully restored gathering space designed by our friends at OJB, some of whom are here with us this morning, we are officially launching what we're calling the Alamo Statewide Stampede. Now you may understand why we have the livestock here this morning. This is a campaign to unite all 254 Texas counties in protecting the Alamo for generations to come. Just as Travis sought support beyond these walls, today we invite Texans from every corner of the Lone Star State to take part in this effort. The preservation of the Alamo is a shared commitment made possible by the state of Texas, Bexar County, the city of San Antonio, and our generous donors. Their leadership and vision have laid the foundation. But now, we are asking Texans everywhere to be part of history by joining us in reaching our fundraising goal. To share more about the vital role that Bexar County is playing in the realization of the Alamo Plan, it's my honor to welcome up Judge Peter Sakai.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What a beautiful day. You know, it's got to be with God's blessing that after all this weather we've had this past week and being on alert for all the ice, that possible ice could happen, this was meant to be in regards to this wonderful sacred place we call the Alamo. And I wanted to say and give a shout out to Dr. Kate Rogers and her leadership and all her staff. Can we give her staff down to make sure I was here on time. So thank you for inviting me to participate in this important event. I understand Lieutenant Governor Dan Pratchett is unable to be here, but I think just as important and a person that has been a significant part in this revitalization, this remake, this opportunity to really bring the Alamo to the forefront on behalf of the state of Texas is our land commissioner, Dr. Don Buckingham. Thank you. You've always been present. You're always here in San Antonio. And continue to bring all that money from the state of Texas over here, all right? Thank you, Doctor. I'm excited to see the grand reopening of the Plaza de Valero. This space is so important to Bexar County. Making it a pedestrian-friendly site will activate the downtown in only ways we can only imagine. I will note that Bexar County has contributed $25 million to this revitalization project. I want to give a shout out and recognition that was done by the predecessor court, namely Judge Nelson Wolf, and I'd like to recognize him, even though he is not here today, for his leadership, 20 plus years as county judge, as mayor, as council. Judge Nelson Wolf has truly been a visionary leader who has allowed these projects to come forward. Can we give him recognition this morning? Our commitment is spread over $5 million per year over 5 years toward the Alamo Visitor Center and Museum. What a spectacular venue that will be. As the home of the Alamo, we are delighted to help this make space more user-friendly. The Alamo is obviously the top destination for Texas tourists. It should be a must-visit for everyone once the current work concludes. I will encourage every one of our 254 counties in Texas, and I will personally pledge to reach out to every county judge through our association, Texas Association of Counties, and whatever venue, to make sure that all 254 counties pledge their support to their project, because it's also their project too. And I want to recognize all the county judges that we work with here in the state of Texas. We stepped up to support the Alamo Block Plan from both a financial, aid, and public awareness perspective. It is incumbent on every Texas county to provide its fair share. This is a living monument to the state's rich history. We cannot shoulder the burden alone. Help us remake this shrine as we restore it to the glory that it deserves. Great things await us. Today, it is a statewide Alamo Stampede campaign. We are all in this together. Let's make the Alamo great again. Thank you for your attendance, and God bless Texas.
Thank you, Judge Sakai, for your leadership and your partnership on this critical project. As the judge mentioned, at the state level, our next speaker has been instrumental in safeguarding the history and future of the Alamo. As the commissioner and the first woman to serve as commissioner of the Texas General Land Office, she leads the agency responsible for the stewardship and preservation of this historic site, overseeing essential restoration projects from the Alamo Church itself to the all-new Visitor Center and Museum. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Dawn Buckingham.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is great to be here. I'm Dr. Dawn Buckingham, your Land Commissioner. I do want to start off by saying Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is heartbroken to not be with us today celebrating this. Unfortunately, with session, his time pulls him away at last minute often, so we miss him, and we do appreciate everything that he does for the Alamo, because truly without his leadership, these funds, Judge, would not be coming, and many other things, and we do have an asking for more, so we all want him to be very happy. But, you know, every day I get to run around the state, I get to help our veterans, do everything on our coastline, help Texans recover from disaster. But this single most important thing that I think we at the General Land Office are doing is ensuring that for the first time since the battle, this site, the visit here, is going to be worthy of the significance of the events that happened. Today of the battle was when the Travis letter was written. They knew no quarter was going to be given. They knew they were going to have to stand and fight. They knew they were probably going to give it all for their family, their friends, their belief, and their fledgling new country. And yet they stood strong. And they endured unbelievable hardships for nearly 2 weeks after this. And so today, when we stand here and we remember what is happening at the Alamo, and we know how important it is, it's really a special day to be blessed by this gorgeous weather, to be blessed to be a part of this project, and we'll continue to do that. We are very excited too. In a little bit, we'll be showing you the Alamo brand, which we kind of rediscovered after a bit of an absence. So I'm in my Western gear today. But God bless y'all. God bless Texas. Thank you for letting me serve you as your land commissioner. And thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Buckingham, for your dedication, your leadership in ensuring that the Alamo remains a symbol of courage and sacrifice for generations to come. Today, we're called to take action, not by standing in defense of these walls, as the Commissioner spoke to, as those who came before us did 189 years ago, but by calling on each and every single Texan who holds this place dear. To learn more about the statewide Stampede, let's hear from the campaign's honorary chair, musician, poet, and actor, Mr. Red Stiegel.
Hi friends, I'm Rick Steele. I'm an entertainer, actor, and author. But at the heart of it all, I'm a proud Texas rancher, here to do my part to help the Alamo. And that's why I'm leading up the Alamo Statewide Stampede. And here's how you can help. When selling your livestock, simply let the auction house know you'd like some or all of the proceeds to go to the Remember the Alamo Foundation. If you don't have livestock, no problem. You can still take part by making a donation. Your tax-deductible donation will go directly to the Alamo Plan, which is working right now to preserve the historic Alamo Church and Long Barrett and build a world-class visitor center and museum. And with the Alamo Statewide Stampede, Texas cattle ranchers have the unique opportunity to play a vital role in preserving our state's most treasured landmark and ensure future generations always remember the Alamo.
Unfortunately, Red couldn't be with us today because he's in Egypt on a trip. But he's helping us in ways big and small, of course. And we're thrilled to announce today that Texans are already stepping up, many of whom are in the audience today by supporting our event, Saddle Up, coming up on March the 29th. So thank you to everyone who has already made a contribution. About a dozen counties have already begun that process, setting the pace for what we hope will become a history-making campaign. The Alamo Statewide Stampede is unique because every county, no matter how big or small, has an equal opportunity to make an impact. Contributions will be tracked per capita, so we have a very small county right now of about 5,000 people who's in the lead, meaning that smaller counties can compete right alongside the big ones like Bexar County, Judge. The leaderboard is updated daily on our website, thealamo.org, so you can see where your county stands and rally your neighbors to climb the rankings. So let's recap what Red said about how you can help and participate. You can take your livestock to your regular sale barn and you simply request that the proceeds or a portion of the proceeds be sent to the Remember the Alamo Foundation. If livestock donations are not part of your wheelhouse, there are other ways you can contribute or show your county support, including direct donations, which are always welcome, sponsoring one of the events, like the Saddle Up event coming up on March 29th, right here in Plaza de Valero, or Happy Trails, which will be the culminating event, which will take place right here in November. Those that contribute $25,000 or more, and some of them again are in the audience today, can have their ranch brand memorialized on a permanent cattle sculpture that will be placed on the grounds of the Alamo. The Alamo belongs to all Texans, and today we invite each of you to not just witness history, but to be a part of it. And with that, it's time to officially kick off the Alamo Statewide Stampede campaign. I'd like to invite Commissioner Buckingham, Judge Sakai, Board Chairs Welcome Wilson and Mark Johnson to the stage, as well as Phil Backey. So Phil Backey, come on up, guys. As I mentioned earlier, he's a member of our Remember the Alamo Foundation Board. He's also the chair of the Capitol campaign, and this whole thing, the Livestock Stampede, was his brainchild. So we're excited to have him today. So Judge, Mark, and Phil, I'm going to ask for you guys to join me over here by the mic. So Judge, Mark, Phil, can I have you guys over here? And welcome. You and Commissioner are going to do the honors. As Commissioner mentioned, this was the actual historic brand from Mission San Antonio de Valero. We've updated a little bit. The commissioner and welcome just blazing with the brand. Thanks, guys. We were a little off on our countdown. We forgot our countdown, but it's okay. It's still a great moment. That is actually, so as part of the construction taking place in the Alamo Gardens, we had to unfortunately remove a very large pecan tree that was ending near the end of its life. But it's a very large tree, so we're using that wood to make many things that you will see as part of the project in the future, including a beautiful new board table inside the Visitor Center Museum. But that wood actually came from that proud pecan tree. So more to come on that. Once again, I just want to thank everybody for being here this morning. Please, another round of applause for all of our speakers. These are the folks leading the charge, but we need your help. So today we come together to celebrate history, honor the past, and commit to the future. I also want to recognize the incredible work of our Alamo Trust team, many of whom are in the audience. Please wave your hands so we can thank you guys for all you do each and every day. Kirk is one of our amazing living historians right up here, and everyone who has played a role in making today's event possible. But most importantly, I want to thank you, all of the Texans who continue to support and champion the Alamo. Today is just the beginning. The Alamo Statewide Stampede is now live, and I encourage everyone to visit thealamo.org to learn how you can take part in this initiative. Together, we can ensure that the Alamo indeed stands strong for the next 189 years and beyond. Thank you all for being here. God bless Texas, and remember the Alamo.